Alright, how's it going, Beth? I'm going to go over a short little tutorial on how to change some of the content on your website. And here, I guess we're just going to start with changing the quantity on a t-shirt, since that's what you were asking me to do the other day. So first thing I usually do is open up PayPal, I open up the author Beth Flynn, and I open up, I'm just going to open up my Gmail here. Log into your PayPal. I'm going to log into, oh man, my internet's going super slow. Log into your WordPress here, and I'm already logged in. I'm just going to go to Pages and PayPal. I'm going to log in. Alright, so Tools and All Tools here to get to your buttons. And your buttons, if we just pull up a regular author Beth Flynn page, we'll be able to see it a little easier. Your PayPal buttons, just from Tools, All Tools, scroll down here and click on your buttons. For the pages, I'm going to open up Shop. This is the one that I'll be editing right now. Shop, the one published in 2014. This Shop was published in 2016, and this is there's nothing on this. So I'm just going to open up this Shop. So this is what I was saying. Here's your Shop. You have an actual Shop page. I'm going to open in a new window, and then you have a book page and a Clothing and More page. So I know one time you said you'd change the description on the 9 minutes glass bubble magnets. So when you change the description here, you'll also have to change the description on the Clothing and More page so that they both update. So now that we've got the Shop page open up, we can see the visual editor here, which is probably what you've been used to working with. But really, when you're changing the content behind the scenes, you're going to want to open up this text editor right here. And the buttons here on your My Say button page kind of list all of your materials, the property grizz tank, the bandana, the bubble magnets, things like that. So let's say I wanted to change the quantity on one of your shirts, like the property of grizz tank. I'm gonna open it up there on that little button and click edit button, and that'll take me to the property of grizz tank button. Right now we can see on the, let's just say on the Shop page, that the property of grizz tank, we have just one color, one size here, ash gray. So I'm just going to add, let's say an ash gray large, and it's still going to be the same price. So I'm going to go back to the button here. So here's the property of grizz tank. This is where the item name is on the back end. So I know another question you had is one time, a shirt, let's say it said Everyone Rides t-shirt, and when you got the order, it was saying, Grizz Everyone Rides t-shirt or something like that. The name that comes through when the people order the merchandise is actually this name here on the button. So if you want to change the name, from what you see when you get the order, you'll have to change this item name right here rather than change the item name right here. This has actually, nothing to do really with the order. This is just kind of describing the button. So property of grizz tank, that's a good name. We're going to leave it at that. This is your customer's view here, you can see, and so right there's only one color, one size. If you want to edit that, we go to this edit button right here. Choose size is what I have as a menu name here, and I've got ash gray XXL. Let's say I wanted to add ash gray large. I'm going to add another option here, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it right here, and I'm just going to say ash gray large, and the price is still going to be $20 US, and I'll say done. And I'll go back and delete this in a minute since I am going to update your site right now actually. So ash gray, and we don't want another drop down menu. I clicked that on accident. So now when you say done, your customer is going to see this: choose size, ash gray large or ash gray XXL. These down here, I've never really messed with this track inventory profit and loss because you don't have an actual store set up with inventory, things like that. The only other thing I've changed is in step 3, you can put the special message to your customers here, add special instructions to the seller, and we take the customer to this URL when they've completed their checkout. And if you haven't seen that, I'm just going to open it up in a new page here. So this is what they see when they check out. It says thank you, which is nice. So I'm going to save the changes that we made, which is just the addition of an extra size on the property of Grizz tank, and I'm going to save that. And then it's going to give us this code here. This is all the code for this button. You can select it and copy it, and then this is where we're going to come into this text editor page here. So if I go back to my visitor, I can see that we've got gift of time, team grunt, team Grizz, property Grizz, all that. Then we get down to the property of Grizz tank. So the text is set up the same way. So I'm going to open up the text. I'm actually just going to Control F and search property, or you know what, I'm just going to search for tank, since this is the only tank, and it'll take us right to it. Here we go. So here is, I put little markers in here, end of the 5th shirt, start of the 6th shirt. So the 6th shirt is actually that property of Grizz tank, and you can tell just because it says, here's your image, it's got, tank and property of Grizz tank right there, so you know that we're working with the 6th shirt, and it is the property of Grizz tank. Where I generated the code here, this is back on that PayPal button page, you can see the code begins with this, caret form, greater than form sign, and it ends with a, closing greater than / form. So that's what we're going to want to find on the text editor page here. And it's actually right here. This is the form at the beginning that matches the form right here, form target. And this is the end down here. This closing form right here is at the very bottom. So I've already selected this code, and I've copied it. And now I'm just going to replace the code that's right here, starting with form action, with down here to the form on the bottom. And actually what that's going to do is just replace the code, but it will not, the property of Grizz tank, the description of the item, which is this description right here, won't replace when you control paste. And so we're going to need to enter that in a moment. You'll see that. It goes right after this S-click right here. So I'm going to highlight form to form, start at the beginning form, end at this form, and I'm just going to Control V, and that's going to paste this code that I just copied into your site. Now if we go look at the site right now, it's going to look a little bit different. The description won't be there. I'll just click open visual right here and see this is what it looks like right now. We have no descriptor for this shirt. So we're going to go back into the text, and I'm going to search tank. Here's the tank. Right after this S-click value right here, I'm just going to press enter, and I'm going to type property of Grizz tank. So now when I go back into the visual, you can see property of Grizz tank, and it looks just like the others. Now what I would normally do here is press update, and it would update your site. But there's no going back once you hit this update button unless you want to recover the entire site. So if something goes wonky here, there's no easy way to recover, which is why I always click preview changes right here. And I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor on this program, but when I click preview changes, it's going to open up your site as the world would see it if you pressed this update button. And so I'm going to scroll down, and property of Grizz tank, choose size, ash gray, and now you can see it's got our large value on there. And you can even test it out, adding the cart. It's going to open up your PayPal page, and it's going to add this in a moment. My internet's going pretty slow. And it's going to add this property of Grizz tank, and you can click on more and see we chose the size ash gray XXL. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Cart is empty. I'm going to close that down. And so if I like what I see there, let me search for tank one more time here. So if I like what I see here, and I like what I see on the shop page, then I would just press update. Right now I'm not going to. I'm going to go back and actually I'll just do it right here on the video. I'm going to go to tools, all tools again, just so you can see one more time. I'm going to scroll down here to buttons, property of Grizz tank. I'm going to edit that button. You see you can also just view the code if you've messed up somehow, or if you didn't control copy the code correctly. But right now I'm actually going to go back in and edit it to take away that ash gray large value. And that's as easy as, actually I don't even have to delete it. I'm going to delete it, but really you can just say remove option. And then when you click done, it will update. Now ash gray is the only one. So I'm going to save the changes to that button. And then on the text page here, I'm actually just going to click off of something so that it does not save our changes you made may not be saved. And that's fine. We're going to leave because I really don't want to, mess up what we've done so far. So now when we go back into, let's say, authorbethflynn.com, and we go back into shop and clothing and more, we've got the property of Grizz tank, we've got just ash gray, and we should have the same thing on this. The pictures are a little bit different. The pictures, you would actually, click on pages here. Like let's say you got an updated photo of that, property of Grizz tank. You would go down to shop, or clothing and more is the other, books is the other site. So you have books, clothing and more, and shop, which combines the books and clothing and more. So if you wanted to change the photo, open up shop. And this is where I would work with the visual here. And I would just click this property of Grizz tank, and you can edit. And you may have done this, I'm not sure, but here is where the photo is. You can just say replace with something else. And these are all the other photos that I've worked with, or you can say upload files and, open up your file explorer right here, and then just, drag and drop something to that. But, I'm not going to do that either at this time. I like the way it is, or you like the way it is, and so we will just click off and not save those changes. So that is pretty much it. That is changing the quantity of a shirt, and I can make some more videos doing some other things. One of the things we discussed last week, I know, was the upcoming events page, and now I'm trying to think of what page that is. Hold on, let me check it out. Up here, what do we have? Oh, signings and events, that's what it was. So if I open up signings and events here, this page was really funky, and I mean, really the whole page just needs to be completely redone, because if I try, I mean, it's crazy to move this stuff around. It just really, like, let's say I want to left align this and right align this to try to get them on both pages. If I preview changes, it all starts to look really funky. Right now, this is actually as good as I could make it easily. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. What needs to happen is this page really needs to be redone with a proper structure, and possibly, resize all of these photos so that they all fit together nicely, because this is the, when I click preview changes, this is what happens. If I just, right and left align these two images, pictures moves up, everything kind of goes crazy. And that was whoever made the site last. They did the best they could in organizing these photos, but the page really just wasn't created properly. So let me know what you want me to do about that. But as of now, this is this was the easiest, quickest thing to do. The site really needs to be rebuilt, or this page in particular. So that was a quick little introduction. Let me know if you'd like another video on something else, and I can make that for you as well. Have a good one.